Okay, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Good evening.
How are you today?
Good.
Well, I sent an email to you minutes ago because, well, today I'm a little bit sick, and you can notice my voice is not good. Well, I have the flu and I have my throat, very difficult for me to talk. Um, and I don't know if you had the opportunity to read the mail. Did you see the mail that I sent before? Oh, okay. Can you hear me? Okay. No, no one. So, what I want to ask you today is, well, I have the presentation today that is about technology and math for the future, and well, it has like 6 slides, and I would like you to help me to promote the discussion about these slides. Yeah. So I sent the presentation to your emails. And what I would like to ask you is to choose one slide. So I think two people can be in charge of one of the slides and to help me present them. Yeah. So I am going to show you the presentation. Well, this is the agenda for today. First of all, we will talk about this technology and math for the future. Then we will talk about the activity that we have for this week, that is the avatars creation, and then we will have some time for questions and comments. Yeah. So these are the slides that I would like you to help me with. This is like the topics that we are going to talk about today. First, we have the importance of technology. Then we have technology is here to stay. Then we will talk about the benefits of technology. Then we will talk about enhanced student achievement. We will talk about the development of technology, and then we will talk about the educational strategy in technology. Yeah. So the slides that I would like to help me with are the ones that I will show you right now. This is the first one. That is, sorry. This is the first slide. So I would like to have two people to help me presenting this slide. So I am going to give you some like 5 minutes so you can make a complete presentation and you can prepare what you are going to say. And so this is the first slide. I would like to help me with, with this.
Teacher, I can read the first one.
Yeah, okay, but first I would like to give you or
Oh,
show you all the slides. Like
okay.
some time to think about them and then we start. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So, uh, okay, who was talking first? You were the one who told me I would like to read this one. Okay, number one. I would like to help me with this one so I can continue with the next one. Nobody? So what I was telling you is that, well, so I'm sick today and I need your help with the slides and to promote the discussion. Yeah, yeah, you are all in silence. So, it's better now? Okay, okay. So, okay, thank you. So, I'm going to repeat. So, um, who can help me with this slide? And I'm going to ask some questions through the chat.
Teacher, I'm sorry. Do you want us to?
I can help you. Yeah, read the first slide if you want.
Thank you, Naida. Okay, Naida number one. Someone else is going to help me. Yeah, what I
Yes, I
want.
can help you, teacher. Just let me know which one do you want me to read. I'm Giancarlo.
Okay, Giancarlo. Yeah, is to read the slide and to mm, like ask some questions to your partners related to the slides so we can discuss about it. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Do you want me to start with this one, or should I wait for our classmate to go over this one so I can move to the next one?
Yeah. First, I would like to share all of the slides so we know who's going to be in charge of each slide. Yeah. So I think that Mayra and you can be in charge of this one. Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to
Okay,
share.
so you want me to read half of it, and
Yeah,
then you're
but not right now. As soon as I finish sharing all of the slides. Yeah.
okay. Okay, I'm gonna read the first one then, and
But
John is gonna read the second one, right?
I think you both could be in charge of that first slide, reading
Oh,
it
okay.
and
Okay, so I'm going to read half of it. Okay.
promoting some discussion about it. Okay?
Okay.
Number two. This is number two. Who would like to be in charge of number two? Okay, me. Someone else is going to help. Okay, me and Caroline. Thank you very much. Next one. This is next one. Okay, Sarah, and someone else? Can someone else help Sarah with this slide? Okay, Sarah. Then we see if someone else can help. Let's continue with the next one. This is next one. Who could be in charge of this one? Okay, Naira, you can help Sarah. Thank you very much. This is the next one. Who could be in charge of this one? No one? Carlos, could you help us with this one? Okay, thank you, Carlos. Okay, this is the next one. Could it be Joanna? Could you be in charge of this one, Joanna? Okay, thank you very much. And this is the next one. Could you help us with this one, Flor? Denise, could you help us with this slide? Flor, Flor.
Teacher, I can't hear you. Who?
Flor.
Flor.
Okay, so let's start and we will see if Flor can help us with this one at the end of the presentation because this is the last one. Okay, so let's start. Let's go back to the first one. That is this one.
Okay, how important is technology? The top 10 in-demand jobs in 2010 did not exist in 2004. We are currently preparing our students for jobs that don't exist. Go ahead, Jan.
Sure, thanks. With technologies that haven't been invented yet, in order to solve problems that we don't even know are problems yet. Well, I think what we're seeing here, this is my personal opinion, is that technology is really important in the world because it's like the way we can see how things change and evolve really fast. And one of the ways that we can actually feel how things change is through technology. I mean, there's nothing that leave a trace in the world that will give us like a hint of how fast things are changing. Is like, for example, our cell phones, how different they are from like 10 years ago. And I think it's important in our jobs as teachers to be aware of this because as technology change, we need to change and evolve with this so that we can implement them in our classrooms. I don't know what the rest of you guys think about it. For example, Myra, do you agree with these comments?
Sorry, are you talking to me? I think I heard Maya. Do you call my name?
Yes, I was saying that if
The
you,
sound is breaking. Sorry.
oh, let me check it. I'm sorry.
I posted a question in the chat. Do you know examples of jobs we didn't know before? Could you tell us a little bit about that? Those jobs, San Carlos?
Sure. I'm sorry, I was just fixing my audio. I think I'm having a problem here too. Yes, community manager does something in my institution. They recently hired someone who is a community manager. That's somebody that's in charge of like handling the relationships of the institution with the online community, with people that has communication with us, but there's people that only communicate through the internet. So that's a job that we wouldn't. I mean, I don't know if 10 or 15 years ago there were community managers out there. That's something I believe is new. And the same happens with virtual tutors or virtual teachers. I used to work for Sena 4 years ago as a virtual tutor, and by then that was something new to me. And I know that it's been around for quite a while, like 10 or maybe 20 years, but it's still new. And the way that we see education is something that has to occur, like in face-to-face interaction, student to teacher. So even though we are like students who are learning in the virtual learning environment, it's still like something that was unthinkable. I believe like 10 or 15 years ago, we still find resistance nowadays for some people. We talk about like virtual education. So those are like my two examples, and I'd like to hear from the rest of our classmates what they think of it.
Thank you, Jan. And what about you, Carolina, the coach?
Yes, good evening. Actually, like 2 weeks ago in my job, the owner of the school, she she bring a person who I didn't know. There was like a coaching company, and this person was in charge of like support us as teachers. And I mean, it was a group of people, and they were making a lot of activities to like make us work as a group. Or actually there were some activities related with like, for example, how do you feel with yourself, like all these kind of activities that help us to achieve like specific objectives in our lives. Like it's kind of a support, I would say.
Okay. Thank you, Carolina. And what about you, Mayra? Coding jobs. Mayra, can you tell us a little bit about coding jobs?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
How they
The sound is breaking. I don't know if it's my computer. Well, coding jobs is but I guess they are what it makes it possible for us to create computer software and apps and websites, and this kind of job empowers people to like to do things. How do you say that? Well, I guess what I want to say is where we didn't have that kind of jobs before. So sometimes we say coding jobs, and a lot of people don't know what they don't know what we're talking about. They don't even know that that kind of jobs exist. So yeah, we definitely need to include technology in our schools in order to start talking about those kind of jobs, because otherwise it's, yeah, people have no clue. Some people, I mean, I'm not talking about everyone, but some people, they don't know. And that's something that, for example, I live in California, and in most of schools in California, they teach coding. Like they have coding for institutes or places where they teach kids. And that's very common over there. But if you go to a different state, or even in Colombia, I mean, I live in the United States right now, but if you go to Colombia and you ask people, they don't know. They don't know. They say, what's coding? So yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Mayra. Okay, Carlos, can you tell us about that? Video game disaster. Carlos,
Yes, teacher.
can you tell us about that job, video game tester?
Okay, yeah. This is a very important, like a very interesting profession, I think, because yeah, it's as the name says, is to test video games and I think to play it all the time. So it's a new technology that most of people use to, I don't know, to get money. But I think there is a new technology that in the past it didn't exist.
Okay, very good. Yeah, thank you. Well, this is my question. How can we prepare our students to face jobs they don't know yet? What do you think? Okay, Flor and Giancarlo, please. Flor and Giancarlo.
Okay, excuse me, teacher, because I am a little crazy. I was in a video conference with teacher Jorge, and when I entered to virtual encounter, I was lost, very lost. But about the question, like Giancarlo said, it's very difficult. I am agree with him because it's very impossible to guess the future. But about this, how can we prepare our students to get jobs that in this moment exist? I think that we can speak with them about in what condition is in this moment our society, our country, environment, all environment. And maybe we can think in a job that in the future face that kind of problems. For example, a special job about how to help our earth, about the water, or about the grow more trees or any more. So, in summary, I think that it's important to involve the students in the condition of our earth in this moment exactly.
Okay. Thank you, Flor.
Okay, you're welcome, teacher.
Okay, Giancarlo. What you say is very interesting. We should focus more on the skills than on content. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, the other day I was reading a document from a research institution in the United States that they were talking about this topic, and they were saying that it's hard to train people today for the jobs that we will have in the future. So the content that we are mostly teaching in our schools and our universities will be obsolete within a few years. So one of the experts was saying like, well, if we don't know what they will need, we can train them on skills that will help them to become more like self-directed and autonomous and on the learning, so that whatever there's up in the future, they will be like resourceful enough in order to learn whatever they have to learn. For example, if we train someone to be like digital, like to have knowledge in how to use the digital stuff, no matter how many changes will come in the future in like digital media and ICT, they will be able to evolve at the same pace that uh, technology is evolving. So we got to teach people like to know how to learn, to reflect on the learning, to be more skilled in the soft skills than in the hard skills, because in the long run, any knowledge that we have right now and we're discussing in this classroom, virtual classroom, might be obsolete within a couple of years or less than 5 years. So that's the point that I wanted to share with you all.
Okay, thank you, Carlos. And okay, Flor, tell me.
Yes, teacher. And I think that in order to get new jobs and better jobs at this moment, and if in any day we want to be a little similar to, for example, China people, it's very important that we are disciplined, because here in our country, especially Colombian people, we are very creative, and we work in anything. But I consider that we need a lot of discipline in order to get better results of our projects or jobs. So maybe we have excellent ideas about any project, about a new machine, about any instrument in order to make easier our diary activities. But if we don't have discipline, it's I'm gonna say that it's impossible. We get those purposes because maybe we can have excellent ideas, but if we aren't disciplined, it's very difficult.
Okay, thank you very much, Flor. Thank you, Giancarlo and Mayra. We are going to continue with the next slide. But go ahead. There was already in charge of this slide.
I think it was me and Noemi, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
So do you want me to start, Noemi, or you will do it? Okay, I'm going to start.
Okay.
Okay, it says technology here to stay. Students find technology no more intimidating than using VCR or a toaster. Students watch much television that their parents did at the same age. Students are active participants, not just viewers or listeners. Prepares students for participation in a technological world. Actually, as we were talking in the last two encounters, I'll say that we need to improve the technological skills on students. Actually, this is the way that I think that education will be like taken in the future. Like if I would say that 5 years ago, maybe this wasn't. I mean, I'm sorry, this wasn't the most popular way of learning. And actually, right now, we can see that most of students are taking like this kind of study. So I'll say that that is like a challenge for us as teachers, because we need to get students ready to like all this changing world that we are like that we are seeing or we are like facing.
Okay, thank you very much. Naomi? Okay, I have this question for you. How can we teach technology to students that could know more about technology than us?
Actually, I want to say something. It's pretty short. Actually, I completely agree with that, because I have been lived that experience with my own students. And actually, I always think that we have to be the guide that they need. We have to be there to support them, like to make sure that they are taking like technology in the right way. So that's the only thing that we can do. We need to be there just to make sure they are using technology in the good way, in a good way.
Okay, you're right. Thank you, Naomi. Okay, Naomi, you are talking. Let me check. Go ahead, Naomi, please.
Hola, yes. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, yes, I think that what my partner was saying is completely right. I want to emphasize, no, for example, students are active participants, not just viewers or listeners. So actually, you can see small babies where 2, 3 years older, and they just take a phone and they just take a tablet and they just go. They even doesn't know how to speak, but they know exactly what they want, and they go to church what they want. For example, a program, a gameplay, and they just find it. For example, a song, and they don't feel afraid to face it. For them, this is normal because they grow listening it. They grow familiar with this topic. For us is different because we are just making like the adaptation to our lives. For them is different. They cannot for example understand was what was I don't know how to say a recorder, a grabadora with cassette. They don't know what is it. No? They cannot even imagine what was that. No, so for them, I think this is relative normal. So we can start to work with it. No, it's normal for them. We just need to emphasize in their cognitive skills, in their logical skills, so they will be prepared for whatever will be to come. Because we have a lot of students and a lot of workers that they know not anyone will know exactly what will be the profession of the future, but for sure we will have uh, a lot a lot to we will have a lot of works related to the technological resources. For example, I was reading something, and for example, in the future, a lot of works will be replaced by software automation. So a lot of works will be lost, especially the low skilled positions, or the works that doesn't need a big skills for the persons. So um, I want to ask for my partners, for example, um, in which way we can help our students for these jobs. We make the equation before, but I think we can make it deeper, no?
Okay, thank you, Goodman. Okay, I think that Sharon wanted to say something, and Genevieve and Flor. Okay, so Sharon, go ahead. Then John, and then Flor. Sharon.
Hello, good night.
Hello.
Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, so about that situation, I think in this moment, students have this kind of technology skill improved than ours, because in my practice, I can see every day how students take advantage of those apps in their cell phones, in their tablets, in order to use it as a key tool for the language for the second language acquisition. I mean, all those apps help them to add a vocabulary, make some translation, and all that kind of things. But also, I think for um, for traditional teaching is not a helping hand. But if we go to the technological kind of teaching, is a helping hand, because students can allow us or teach us about those kind of tools, and develop a virtual environment for me is kind of hard, because they get bored easy. So if you don't have an attractive activity for them, they are going to be bored and not going to pay attention. So I think we must take advantage of those apps and these technological skills that I mentioned. Sometimes they allow us to explain us about the use of those tools in order to solve those quizzes or make some uh, oral exercises or exposition and all that kind of things. For example, today, my eighth grade students had an exposition about the flora and the fauna that they found in our school. So they used most of them the PowerPoint presentation, and I definitely can say that they had an amazing presentation, or also using Prezi, that I think is a good resource for them. It's very interactive, and I think that take advantage of those skills is going to be better for our labor as a teachers, and improve the others skills in our student. It's not only about the use of those apps and tools, it's also about the acquisition of vocabulary, how to make um, short tests, or even using connectors, because sometimes this topic is hard for them. So I think that is a better choice for our teaching process.
Okay, thank you very much. So
Okay.
let's continue with the language.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, Taz. Maybe the last question that you do us. Obviously, first part. Okay, it's possible. Maybe just knowing the technology, as possible you have all the knowledge. That's possible you find other people that's really have more knowledge than you. Yeah, but the difference when you try to decide to teach something is you try not teach new knowledge. Is teach or you try to put in a correct way this knowledge. And as is from it, I think so. This is the most important thing when you try to to use this technology. Okay, obviously the guys right now have a lot of information about technology. As possible, they doing a lot of things in a technology at us. Wow, but they don't have a orientation. Yes, and they have a manage for you try to conduct this knowledge. For this important point, you try to know. Obviously, as a important, obviously you have an important knowledge about the technology for you try to give in more manage your audience or mandatories for try to organize the ideas, organize all this knowledge, and try to put it in a workout. Yeah. About the first question, you tell us about uh, what happened with maybe the jobs on the future. That's okay. Maybe 10 years ago, don't exist this kind of careers. For example, our career. Yeah, that's a different. I mean, the humans constantly try to adapt the new ways. Yeah, adapt to new technology. That's part is really important. And this happening the next. Right now, for example, there's I don't know what is the expression in English for teletrabajo. I don't know what is that once, but right now in Colombia, it's really used that. You don't need to go to the office for try to work. As possible, you try to use on some task, and you need to make these tasks, and you need to give in results for your company. And that's all. And that's possible. Use the technology for have the conference, or you have the Sky. I mean, you have all the things for you try to interact with your customers right now. Yeah, and happening in all professions like lawyers, the teachers, and accountants. That's so totally different.
Yeah. Okay, John. Thank you very much.
You
Okay, Joanna.
Now, me, teacher?
Yeah. You want to say
Okay.
something?
Flor.
All right.
Okay, teacher. Well, I think that is a very interesting question. How can we teach technology to students who know more than us? Well, in my personal case, for me, it's a great risk to do this because I don't have a lot of skills about that. But I try to use technology to address the students' knowledge about English within a specific topic. For example, I try to use, I used to use the PowerPoint text, for example. And I say the students, please do a PowerPoint presentation about any topic, pronouns, adjective, possible, I don't know. So I try to, the issue is know how to teach technology, but in my case, the issue is how to use technology, like Jonathan said, how to use technology to teach English, because I am working as a teacher many years ago, and at the beginning we only use another kind of tools, books and guides and board, pieces of chalk, but not technology, no cellular, no tablets, no computers. So it's difficult in my case, not only to try to teach any topic, but also try to teach any topic using technology. But some cases, I look for the any information in the internet, and I try to apply this in my classes with my students.
Okay, thank you. Liliana?
Hi, teacher.
Hi, Liliana.
I can hear it. Well, I think that this topic is very important because in this unit in my school with 7th grade, I was working in devices, vocabulary about devices and applications. And really, I don't have a lot of information for that because I didn't use social networks. I didn't use a lot of technology just for the university. But is all that I did. But today I consider that I learned how to upload the information, share the information with others, because my students today for the class bring their cell phones and they show us a lot of application, a lot of things that the cell phone has in order to increase their vocabulary and their knowledge. And as the question that you asked to us, I think that it's important that they work like a team, because they can share a lot of information about the different topic. They show me an application that solves all problems, math problems, and in my time when I was in eighth grade, I didn't have that tool, so for me was difficult, and that time I have to use a lot of books, work with my partners face to face. By now they use the internet, the technology, in a good way sometimes, but today in my class was funny because they learn and I learned too how to use the technology and a lot of things, and I think that it is very important for me.
Okay, Liliana, thank you very much. Let's continue with the next slide. Okay, who was in charge of this slide?
Yes, me, Sarah.
Okay, Sarah, thank you.
Okay, technology, ability to gather info, keep records, create proposals, construct knowledge, perform simulations to develop skills, distance learning, global collaboration for lifelong learning and work. Well, I consider that all these are benefits of the technology. So I'm going to explain some of those benefits. For example, in order to construct knowledge, applying in education, technology makes teaching easy because when teacher, we are tired to explain a theoretical explanation, we can create another activity through the technology. And using role plays, match, and learning objects, or create another websites in order to show on a different class. Thanks to technology, students enjoy learning. Yes, because there are many tools in internet and another website like Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, Dix, and other space that the students can learn another about many topics. The internet can distract them from the learning process, but I think that the teachers have a responsibility to direct those students in order to get the learning process. Technology makes distance, okay, according to the distant learnings, technology makes distant learning more accessible than ever because, there are another tools, important tools like Skype, or maybe this is a good example to communicate in virtual distance soon in order to have, interact with a student and teacher, like now. Technology in the classroom makes learning, in virtual lessons, because you can use not only the laptop, you can use the tablet, you can use the cell phone in order to have the virtual encounters. Now, another about the construct knowledge, this kind of technology encourage individual learning. A wonderful experience for the students because they can develop skills and to follow the individual learning. And my question in this case is, it would be, how can teachers teach in places where even the internet is not there? What activities, how the teachers can create a class in places, for example, in Colombia, there are many cities or towns that there is not internet. So it's very difficult for those teachers to teach right now. Okay. I don't know if maybe another classmate had to implement my exposition.
Okay. Noemi, do you want to say something?
Yes, I am actually not a teacher, but I think that a good way, I'm trying to answer the question of my partner, no? For example, in these cities or in these towns where uh, unfortunately we don't have internet, we must to lead our students to this knowledge. So I think that one good idea will be to introduce them to this vocabulary. For example, we can make like a pictures of each things, and we can explain to them for what is it, the main reason to use it, and so we can explain the different tools that we have and how we can work with them. So when they face the opportunity to have the contact with the new technology, at least they will have this prior knowledge that will help them in to use them.
Yes, I have a participation.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah, okay. About this question, okay, this is a reality. Yeah, of course, there are a lot. There are many towns, specifically in our country, don't have the possibility to stay on internet, and it's possible to have some problems when you need to try to teach with the new technologies. Yeah, but um, the global tendency right now is everybody in the world has this kind of using of these tools like the internet, and right now Colombia has to deliver some important process for all the towns has a free Wi-Fi. Yeah, a list, not in all the town, but because it's actually is really difficult, but specific in some specific parts of the towns, they are also very important. For example, I'm from Popayan. Yeah, this is on the south of the country. Yeah, next to me there are some specific towns that are really small towns that they kind of some Wi-Fi part, and this is on a part of the big plan for a society, specific for a world. Yeah, maybe for the next 4 years, for example, is next to the new president in Colombia, the lead plan of technologies and education. That's I need to you need to do these kind of things. We'll do these kind of things in a this plane, in a government plane, like to all the people has technology like the internet, because it's an international mandatory. It's possible to say that, yeah, like to the World Bank and at the other important institutions in international way. That's a really important for try to give an answer for our students. About today this presentation, for example, when you talk about the keep records, that's really useful in our education. Yeah, for example, sometimes it's really difficult to try to say it online at the same time, for example, for Sky or about this media. But when you have possibility to check the records, so you try to solve the records as possible, you continue your autonomous studies, and that's really important for the new technologies right now.
Yeah. Okay, Benjamin, thank you very much for your idea. Well, so I'm going to continue with the last slide. And we have two more. Who's in charge of this one? Rafael, were you in charge of this one? Who was in charge of this slide?
I don't understand this one. Student centered. Maybe that's all center.
Okay, no one?
That's just read and explain?
Okay, yeah, what do you think about these concepts?
Yeah, okay. Motivation and engagement, world-class education, equipping students for life, student century. About motivation, engagement, right now, that's a really important part. Because maybe the human just doing the things, just doing the good things when they felt a motivation. And it's our work, like a teachers, or you try to motivation and engagement every day, or you try to do the things that you to propose. And our world-class education was a real example. For example, in this moment you can study in other country, and it's possible you have stayed in your bed. For example, like me in this moment. Yeah, that's a really interesting state, and you have a high quality if you try to study. Yeah, that's possible. You try to share the culture with other one cultures. That's really interesting. That's why. Keeping students for life. That's a real true because you can you can catch up the tools for you try to use an award in your normal life. That's a sports important. But I don't understand what is a student centered. I don't know what they say that. What is century? I don't know, century? Maybe I don't know what is the pronunciation.
Yeah, as well. Activities and everything that is done in the class is focused on the student, not in the teacher.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's it's a mind. The student's a mind subject, and then a person. Okay, that's of course. Maybe the e-learning education right now that's as possible. You have an autonomous process, but you're leave your studies in your own. I don't know what I forget that and around. I forget it. This term in English. Yeah, okay, at the same time and your own time, maybe that's so possible. That's and obviously and you can assimilate that you need to apply all your knowledge, and it's just for you, and that's just it's possible the start is the same. It's better than other ones, yeah, because it's your time, it's your opportunities, it's your autonomy situation, and it's better than other ones.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. Well, I'm going to move on to the next slide because we are running out of time. Well, we have two more. Well, these are just the further skills focused on thinking order skills, they are focused on technology. Do you know this, no, I forgot the name. This Bloom's taxonomy. Do you know Bloom's taxonomy?
No.
No? Then you know about Bloom's taxonomy? Has
Yeah.
like,
Yes. Then it's when it's the basic or the priority necessities of the life. Maybe this is the same, but in order to the technology, maybe. What you say, the first, the food, the yes, is that about the pyramid of the? I don't remember who was the person who created the pyramid. I don't remember the name.
you're talking about the needs, human needs.
Yeah.
That is, I think that is a different one. That is, I think, is Maslow's.
Yes.
Maslow's.
Yes. The Maslow. Yeah.
Maslow's.
Yes.
Maslow's is the one that classifies human being needs, and he talks about shelter, food. Yeah, that is the one that I was telling you about is Bloom's. Bloom's taxonomy is a different one. That Bloom's classifies thinking skills. Yeah.
Okay.
Thinking skills. And this is a similar classification to the Bloom's one that is focused on technology. So first part, the one that is at the bottom, is like the basic skills, and they are increasing according to the process a person has when he is learning about technology. So the first process is like the one that you have here, that is enables development of critical thinking skills. The next one is to apply content knowledge in a variety of ways. So in this case, would be using different tools, technological tools. Then you have augment skills to convert data to information and transform information into knowledge. Then you have apply problem-solving processes and apply technology tools to develop solutions. Then you have technology tools for constructing artifacts and electronic information and communication resources. Then you have valuable thinking tools and technology applications. And finally, we have the software that supports curriculum. So those are like the development of higher order skills in relation to technology. Yeah, those are like the processes a person can have as that person is increasing the use and the knowledge of technology. Yeah, and the last one that is the instructional strategies. Was someone in charge of this slide? I don't remember. What? Who?
Teacher, I have to read it before, but if I want to you one, I cannot read this.
Okay, please.
Okay, support instructional strategies. You have the category, identify similarities and difference, summarizing and note taking, reinforcing effort and providing recognition, homework and practice, non-linguistic representation, cooperative learning, setting goals and providing feedback, generating and testing hypotheses, and cues, question, and advanced organizers. Teachers should focus on the strategies, focus on the available technology, focus on the unit, build lesson and on a solid foundation of effective strategies, add appropriate technologies, and apply strategy to ensure high quality instruction. And I think that are all of those things are really important if we want to improve the skill in our students.
I think that the technology is not just the Instagram, is not just the Facebook, is not just take a picture. It's not. I think that technology is another thing. It's another way to improve the knowledge. It's a way to see the 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 teaching process in another way, and when the student can identify their own skills and strong with their skills too. For example, we can see or we can find students that are really good in math. They can maybe use an app, a special app, to increase the reasoning about problems or algorithms. I don't know, or maybe another student are really good in reading or in Spanish or in English, so they can use another kind of app. I know that we can find a lot ways apps, maybe to face with a by Skype or with this platform anywhere. And I think that the student need a gate and a good gate to the correct way to the use of the technology. That is maybe, let's say, the teacher should do. I think that is really important. The strategies, the appropriate and the appropriate technology, because you don't have to use all the technologies. Age, class, age, subject. I don't know. A student need an appropriate technology, an appropriate app, an appropriate, I don't know. But I think that is really important that the student know what they have to do and know what they have to want to do with the use of the technology. And I think I can see the students, for example, in my school with the laptop, with the smartphone, but always is chatting, always is take a picture for upload to the Instagram or use the Facebook, or sometimes practice the bowling. That is not just the technology. I don't agree about the technology is another thing. The technology is a new word that we have to try to understand in the correct way and to try to show the students in the correct way.
Okay, Joanna, thank you. Yeah, so what you have here, those are instructional strategies. Maybe have you heard something about them? Well, there is an author that is called Robert Marzano. I don't know, maybe you have heard something about him. I'm going to write the name here, Robert Marzano. And he was the one who researched about these strategies, and he called them like instructional strategies that work. And he, well, according to his research, and well, this is supported by literature, is proof that when we implement these 9 strategies in our classes, not only in relation to technology, but in any class, it is proof that the students are going to learn if we apply all of them, not just some of them. What he says is that we need to apply all of them, not in a single class, but in the whole process. And if you apply those strategies with your students, the result is that they are going to learn what you are teaching them. Well, there is a whole book that talks about these strategies that I think is called, I don't remember well, but I think it's One Teacher at a Time. I'm not pretty sure, but I think this is the name of Teacher at a Time, or something like that. The next encounter I tell you exactly the name, and it's about these strategies. And well, and here you have what teachers can do to help students learn, and in this case, learn through technology. That is what you read before. So you need to focus on these strategies, use the available technology we have in your class, focus on the unit and the curriculum, on the syllabus, build lessons on a solid foundation of effective strategies, appropriate technologies, and apply strategies to ensure high quality instruction. Yeah. So according to this author, and well, not only this author, but there is a lot of literature about it. If you use these strategies, you are going to have a successful lesson. So to take that into account. Well, um, I think this is the last slide. I I know that I took longer today than other classes. I'm sorry about that. And well, thank you for your help. I know my voice is not good today. I don't know if you could understand what I said. I hope so, because well, in Spanish, people didn't understand me today. They said, "What? What did you say? Repeat." So I think in English is worse. So I'm sorry about that, and thanks a lot for your help. Well, just to remind you, well, today this week's activity is the avatars creation. Well, so here you have the guidelines, the same you have in the study guide. I just wanted to ask you if you have questions regarding that activity. Yeah, there's creation. Do you have questions or comments? No? Okay. In case you have questions, remember that you can contact me, write to me. Well, so I'm not going to take more time. Thanks a lot for attending the session. Thanks a lot for your help. And well, I'm about to finish checking your virtual learning environment architecture form. So I think that by the weekend, all of you are going to have your feedback on that activity. And then I will start checking your Google Drive reflections. I'm sorry about that activity because I made a mistake. I didn't realize the forum was like blocked, and someone told me about it on Saturday, so I fixed that on Saturday. That's why I extended the deadline till today to comment on your partner's reflections. Okay, so that's it. So thank you very much. Have a good night. Have a good week. And I'm sorry about my voice. And thanks for your help. So have a good night. Bye bye.